Welcome to the KFA podcast, where our mission is to keep faith alive by kicking ass.
Officially episode number 1. We've got a couple of filmed already, but we'll just call this episode number 1. So a couple of people in the room. Go ahead, let's say who you guys are, and we'll start off with that.
Start down there.
I'm Connor Webb, Cardinal Financial, KFA. I'm a loan officer with Cardinal, and then I also have been helping with video at Cardinal, and then also with KFA, so part of the marketing team.
I'm a humble owner of Couch GM.
And GM on the couch.
Fastest growing YouTube channel.
GM on the couch, yeah.
I'm Dayton Parks. Been a realtor for 7.5 years, and a little over a year ago started running business development at Cardinal Financial and started KFA and whatnot.
I'm Chad Parks, branch manager here at Cardinal Financial. Been in the business for 18 years. I guess call me a co-founder of KFA. I don't know.
And I'm just the marketing guy over here at KFA now. Larry Hales, been part of the real estate community now for about 15 years, locally in Vancouver for about 10 years, which is hard to believe it's been that long already. So crazy. So part of the marketing team here. And like Connor does a lot of the video content, and I'm doing a lot of the strategery content around, for helping real estate agents come up with strategies around their marketing. So KFA, interesting name, interesting concept. Like, just kind of maybe expand on like, where did the thought process? How did you come up with KFA? Like, what was the inspiration behind it?
Well, I guess it started when Dayton and I were sitting around one day, and we're kind of going through some ideas and talking about how we want to start developing marketing. And we just, as we often do, we got off into sort of a tangent about a certain topic. In this case, it was my frustration with just the general state of negativity in our business and how frustrated everybody was getting, both on the mortgage side, but also on the real estate side. And, something that I've just kind of always been allergic to. And just during that conversation, Dayton flipped something back on me, which is a question that I'd always asked him. For those of you who don't know, Dayton's my son, and I'm sure everybody knows that. But growing up, anytime he'd have a difficult situation, or get cut from a basketball team, or whatever it was. Sorry, I don't know if you want to share that with people. But it was always the same question: what are you going to do about it? And so, as I was sitting around, complaining about the general negativity in our business, he flipped that on me and said, what are you going to do about it? And so that started a whole conversation that probably lasted several days, really, of us just kind of talking about what we wanted to do. And that's kind of how the concept of KFA began. The way we arose at the name of KFA was, I have this bobblehead sitting on my desk that's my employees got me, 6 or 7 years ago. It's a bobblehead of myself, and I'm pulling open my shirt, and my shirt says KFA on it. And that phrase originated 16 or 17 years ago when we were converting over to the W-2 model, and I was frustrated that I was being forced to pay all of our employees 40 hours a week times X number of hours, because I wanted to just put everybody on salary. But they wouldn't let me. And so as the conversations around pay were occurring, we were basically just having the conversation. As long as you're here and you're kicking effing ass, I don't care if you work 38 hours or 42 hours, we're going to pay you, as if you're salary. So if you knock it out of the park and you get all your work done, you want to leave early and go to your kid's sporting event or whatever, as long as you KFA while you're here, I don't care. And so that's kind of where the name came from, but I'll let you take it from there, Dave.
With regards to KFA, obviously the acronym I've been aware of since I was a kid. We've always used it, and it's always historically stood for kicking fucking ass, and I'll say the bad word because that's what it means. And but when we started this, on my end, a lot of what stemmed our wanting to build KFA, obviously starting from the need for positivity in this business that was present about a year ago. It's still here right now. It's a tough market we're in. But it was back in October, we were sitting at an Ed Milet event, and a speaker who's actually Ed Milet's pastor, Erwin McManus, he was up there on stage. And he was talking about something that really struck a chord with me, which is why the world is in such a bad place. And his message to us was, and whether you believe in God or not, just bear with me for a second. He was saying that, we are all born in God's image and likeness, and apart from any other species on this planet, we have the ability to imagine a new future and create it. And we're the only ones with that special gift and talent. And how that is when the Bible's saying we're born in God's image and likeness, that's what it's talking about. And he said, but the problem, if you ever wonder, if God's real or whatever, why is the world so messed up? And he said, it's because the people who have taken that God-given gift and used it to their best of their abilities oftentimes are horrible people, most of the time, a lot of times. In the extreme, it would be like the Genghis Khans, the Hitlers of the world, who took their ability to create and thrust their terrible vision on the rest of us and impacted tons of lives. And on a much smaller scale, there's greed. There's people doing things selfishly out there. And the reason that our world is so messed up from the top down is that the good people out there who also have this ability to manifest a future and create a life of their dreams, create something much bigger than themselves, most of them, there are more good people than bad people out there, but most of us are sitting on the sidelines praying for change. And we're not willing to get our hands dirty, strap on our boots, and get to work to fight to create the future that we want to happen. And so when we sat in that room, I don't think this room was full of, I feel like we were probably the smallest names in this room. And there wasn't a single dry eye after he delivered that message. And same thing, when we left that event, I think we didn't know what we needed to do, but we knew we needed to do something. And so the start of KFA, was kind of born from that. And it started with just, we don't know where to start, but we know there needs to be positivity. So we're going to start there. And now, we've really started to hone in on what KFA really means to us. And I think it embodies that message that originally sparked the drive for us to take action. And so the full scope of what KFA means is we need to kick effing A so that we can keep faith alive. And Keep Faith Alive is also a nonprofit we're working on forming, and we'll see where it goes. But,
And it was not even a year ago.
no, a lot has happened.
A lot's happened.
Very quick.
And we hear from people also, wondering, or just, and we seek out the criticisms too. We want to get better, but we hear stuff like, our message hasn't been clear yet, and there's a lot that we need to work on. But the reason for that is that we took action before we had a plan. I think we're very much of the mindset that ready, fire, then aim. Like, we're not going to get stuck trying to figure out the best possible way to do it, or think 10 steps down the road, when we really just need to just take action, and then we'll figure it out from there. So
how many days did we have from when we decided to start to do the event until when it happened? It was like 40 some days, 50 days?
58.
58?
yeah.
58 days, and we moved it back a week due to a scheduling conflict. Otherwise, we would have had 51 days. But yeah, that was pretty quick.
Yeah.
It was a immense amount of stress around the holiday time, which I don't think we really thought through, but it was worth it. It was scary, you guys, like having no brand and coming out and spending a lot of money to book a room that can fit hundreds and hundreds of people on the hope that we can get people to show up is not an easy task, honestly. So we had to wager some money, kind of bet on us. And I think we left that first event back in January, just extremely humbled and grateful that like 350 people inside of our real estate community showed up for that event. And it just went better than we could have possibly imagined. So
It was the start of something really cool, actually.
yeah.
Yeah. I remember meeting with you guys, I think it was last November,
Yeah.
when you guys kind of had the plan somewhat laid out. And like, even just hearing you guys talk about it, like, I was super excited about it. Just like, hey, an event is coming to Vancouver like this. Like, usually they go to Portland or they go to Seattle or sometimes Vegas. And I was like, somebody's actually doing it in Vancouver. And I'd been wanting to do this in the community for a long time already, because I think real estate agents at the time were hungry for the information. I think they're still hungry for the information, by the way. So when you guys came up, I was super excited about the prospect of having it here.
Why do you think, and I've asked myself this too, like, why do you think other people haven't taken this approach or tried to build something like this sooner. At least, I mean, maybe in years, long time ago. But in my 7.5 years of real estate, I haven't seen anything other than just like title events, CE classes, things like that. But I haven't seen any like big events around here, other than stuff that's grouped into Portland.
And I think the big reason is a lot of people are trying to figure out a way to monetize off of it. They're like, they want to do the event, but they want to, like, I want to make a ton of money off of this. Like if I'm going to bring in speakers and have all these people here, I want to make enough money to, keep doing it and bring in bigger speakers.
Yeah. That makes sense.
They're hard to put on too. As you guys know, these events there's a lot of planning and a lot of prep. Even the smaller ones, like the one we just did, there's a lot of planning and a lot of prep and a lot of, money.
Yeah.
Right? So KFA is born kind of out of a term that you guys used on a regular basis, and then you come up with a brand. You launch basically a brand and start an event like right away. You get 350 people to this first event, right? 350. And I think the overwhelming majority of people that came away from that came away with something tangible. What was the feedback from the event the first event that you guys did?
Honestly, we anticipated more criticism. I think that people didn't know what to expect walking in. And so I think we did well enough that most people walked away pleasantly surprised. Which was awesome. We seeked out, criticism, and we do. I think we had a feedback thing. We honestly didn't get much negative feedback. There was some stuff, and I don't want to say if I say
we need more vending machines.
Yeah, more vending machines. Like okay, but there wasn't a ton that was tangible. So we actually ended up forming what's called the KFA Inner Circle, which is a group of really respected, connected people who I think many of them share some of the same missions as us, and we've kind of formed this board of directors, I guess, for KFA, and so that's really helped because we've gotten a lot more criticism. I think people are willing to be more honest in that small group setting, and especially if we're like really pushing for it. So that's been really good. But as far as the feedback from that first event, I think overall it was incredible. We were really surprised that there was hundreds and hundreds of photos, videos, people that were attended it that were posting, and it was all over the internet. So I felt kind of locally famous for a week or so.
If I can add to that, I think that, sorry, I can't move the microphone, but we didn't really know what to expect when we first did this. And it was kind of we thought we were taking a risk. We were risking some capital and, maybe a little bit of a risked reputation if you throw something and it fizzles out. But we came at it from a place of, we think this is the right thing to do, and we think this can help some people. And if we can help some people through the tough times, then, only good things can happen. So we decided to do it. But to be honest with you, for 2 or 3 days after that event, like all of our conversations were like, I cannot believe how many people are talking about this. All the positivity that we got on Facebook, all the conversations, the follow-up meetings we had, just, thank you notes that came in, emails and phone calls from people just saying, hey, just want to thank you for that. I really got some good stuff out of that. I was, trying to decide if I even want to stay in this business, and you guys helped me to realize that this is a community, just a lot of really good stuff. And that was honestly, I think, what propelled us to wanting to make this something even bigger, because like our whole goal was to put out some positive energy and hopefully help some people, and then to see that what we put out there was multiplied like 20 times back. It was like, whoa, we could really do something cool here and really help a lot of people. And so that's really what pushed us into just kind of running. And to Dayton's point earlier, we're still figuring out this stuff. We're building an airplane, as it goes down the runway. We're not event planners, but we're figuring some stuff out, and we're getting a lot of like-minded people to come join us now and that want to be a part of it. And I think that's really cool. So we're having fun.
And then you set goal, which was kind of on my list of questions as well. Like one of the goals was to just be the beacon of shining light, is what it sounds like, for an industry that's going through a pretty tough time right now. I would say like real estate's going through a tough time, but lenders are going through a tough time right now too. Yep. And so I think that's with the way that you guys came about it from an organic standpoint, I think helps.
That wasn't easy, by the way.
No.
I mean, it's I get it, because we all have our guard up, and most people have selfish interests, hidden agendas in mind. But we got a lot of that. I mean, even now, we've done 3 events now, that one big one, and then a couple, I say smaller quarterlies, but still well over 100 people there. And for the people who haven't been in that room, the people who know that we aren't making it about us, we're really like, neither of us want the spotlight at all. I really don't truthfully enjoy having to talk on stage. It's not something I want to be doing, but I will. And it's we still get that. There's a lot of people who think that we're trying to do something slimy here. And it's just funny, we'll prove people wrong over time with that.
So KFA originally just started with YouTube. That was it.
Yeah, and then the very next thing we did was brought Connor in because we needed to
Right.
have some help with marketing and videography, and this guy's a wizard with the cameras and the editing software.
The couch GM.
Yep.
So Connor, tell us a little bit about like what your role is on the marketing team here at KFA.
Yeah, kind of like I mentioned, helping a lot with video. And I always, when I'm creating content, I try to visualize what that's going to look like. So we team up and we talk about, what our ideas are for what we want to put out there. And then it's, kind of up to me to visualize and kind of put into practice like what we're going to be filming and making out of it. Like, for example, that first KFA event, we didn't really have many things. We just had some various ideas. So it's like we get a smoke machine and a red LED light and get someone in here and start making videos. Just see what happens.
We brought 6 of the top probably 10 realtors in town right into our office. They agreed to film some B-roll to help us promote this event. And they walk in. We've got the smoke detectors taped up and a fog machine on. And I know like half of them at least were just like, some of them we didn't even really know that well before this. And I know they were probably like, what?
I literally took
the hell event is
garbage
this?
bag and packing tape and taped over the smoke detectors so the alarms wouldn't go off.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, here we are. We've got some of the biggest names in Clark County walking right in, and we're just like, hey, you're going to jump on this smoke machine and we're going to film you.
But the promos came out great. Like I really think like the visuals are usually what gets people to stop that scroll, and I think they did a great job of stopping the scroll. So the visuals probably had a good impact in getting attendance as well.
And we really worked off of the pessimism that was there in the market because, the intro video was various news clips talking about how bad the housing market is right now. And like, I can't imagine being a homeowner or trying to buy a home type thing, and just playing off of that and into the fear of people. And then at the event, we kind of talked to, you acknowledge it and then kind of talk around it and how to get through it. So,
right.
Yeah.
We had to get creative though on that initial marketing push. You don't really think about it until you're there. But like for a first event, you have no B-roll. You have no footage to kind of paint the picture of what this event's going to be like.
Yep.
So we had to get really creative to try and put something together that was compelling for people to show up.
You guys didn't even know what the event was going to look like either.
No.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
I remember waking up the morning of the event and just throwing up like 4 times because it's like all this work, nonstop thinking, hours and hours and hours, and it all comes down to this, and it's like,
right.
How's this actually going to go?
Well, it's because most people who put on events like these, they have a whole team of people, 15, 20 people that are doing, and you guys put it on all what, 4 of you, maybe 4 or 5 of you?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously have people in the office helping. They were crucial in helping us invite our agents, people we knew, try and organically get, butts and seats and people to come show up and entertain, dedicating a full day, a precious January day to us. And that was helpful, but it's a lot of organizing. When it's a first year event too, you don't realize how much you need to order and buy. It's like all these other events we've done since have been much easier because we don't have to think about every little thing we need to purchase first and how long it's going to take to get here. And we only had a couple months. It was kind of stressful for sure.
Yep.
But
I think July or doing it in January is way better than doing it in July, by the way.
Yeah.
Because January, it's kind of it's the time when a lot of the market's down, the business is down a little bit, and they're looking for ways to start off that new year. So I think the timing of it. And so plan is to do another one January again, right?
Yeah. I mean, we don't have the date officially set, but it's worst case, it would be like first week of February. We're kind of going to base it off of the speakers that we want to land and their schedules. So
Cool. Got some ideas for some good speakers already?
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
In
Talked
fact,
to one this morning, didn't you?
I don't think he'll be a speaker. I don't think we can afford him yet, but but I will say his network is profound, and I think he's a fan of us, so I think he's going to help us out a little bit.
I think every event that you guys do kind of builds it to the next level and helps build it to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
So to talk about like the last event that you guys just did, the AI, I think I heard more positive feedback from that than I've heard from just about anything.
That's great.
That I've been a part of the last couple years, just because I think it's a hot topic. It's super tangible, a lot of takeaways from it as well.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that event for me, and I made a Facebook post about it today, but like, don't get it twisted. Like, there was so much that I learned, and even in the panel discussion, like I was one of the people up there, but I mean, just so many things. Just one little line that someone says, and it's like, oh my gosh, he just showed me how. One of the examples, like I think it was Wayne that mentioned the software that can edit just a little part of when you address someone by their name, and AI can help you edit so it's more personal. Like, that is mind-blowing to me, because I've always, there's two ways. If you have 3,000 people in your database, you can make 3,000 videos. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Sally. And that takes forever. Or you can say one video, blanket, hey, friend. Like, it's not as personal. But this gives you the best of both worlds. That's a huge take. Just right there, if people implemented that, it would up their database engagement and buy-in. So
Right.
tons of stuff like that.
So back to Connor, talk about video and doing videos. So you're kind of the videographer for KFA, and you're helping real estate agents with their video as well, right?
Yeah, really. So I help the loan officers in the office with if they have any ideas, or if there's, for example, like a new program that comes out. It's like, all right, who wants to do a video right now to talk about this so that we can blast it out there, be the guinea pig. And whether it's a short video that's like a minute or less vertical, or if we do a long form video that's more detailed and explaining the details of a program type thing. If a loan officer has a realtor that is looking to do any marketing, whether it's brainstorming or putting together videos, I could help with that. So
Wow.
really just kind of whatever someone is looking to do, I try to make it happen.
And just if I can touch on that too, one thing that I see all the time is people trying to coach from or lead from a place where they don't necessarily have the resume to do it beforehand. Whether that be teaching video classes or trying to teach how to grow a YouTube channel or whatever it is. And the thing is with Connor is like, I mean, how many videos do you have videos that are over 1 million on TikTok and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, TikTok, Instagram, I have a few that have over 1 million views. Yeah.
And so he's like actually walked the walk first and built a YouTube channel that's taking off.
And to add to that, like, I had no experience personally with any video editing, creating video. Beforehand, I had started a fitness brand with a buddy of mine. And so like we did some offhand like videos in the gym type thing. And that's the only experience that I had with video editing. But I just bought a MacBook Pro with the editing software because I was like, eventually I want to do something with this and be on YouTube for whatever reason. And so I kind of found my niche, and then just, it's like what the Mariners say. It's like their slogan is 1%. Just get 1% better every day. If you just get 1% better every video, or learn one new editing technique per video, then a year from now you'll be that much better. So. Yeah.
And you're over 5,000 subscribers on your YouTube.
Over 6,000
Yeah, now over 6,000. I said
5,000 a month.
It was 5,000 like
2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
The parabolic effect is setting in.
So I said we should start a pool on when he's going to get to 10,000. Like, pick dates on the calendar, and
My goal was
everybody
by the
puts
end
in
of the-
like $20.
My goal was by the end of the baseball season, but now that I'm starting to do football videos in other sports, I mean, I think that's realistic. So
Totally.
we'll see.
Yeah.
What's your current engagement on your videos? Like views every week or month? Like,
Well, the one that I looked at recently is I'm getting like over 30,000 unique viewers watching my channel each month. So,
Okay. So
over
those would be
30,000
new
people.
That's huge.
And in the past like 3 months, it's like
Organic.
Yeah.
Y'all paid.
I started doing promotions recently just on a couple videos, which helped, but this is without the paid. and then like 130,000 plus unique viewers over the past 3 months. So,
Wow.
And Connor's figured out this awesome formula of like taking long form content and making little shorts off of it, and using the shorts to drive to your long form. You're kind of taking the same approach with real estate agents now, right?
Yeah, it's the same type of thing. You know, if what I always recommend, and I want to start teaching YouTube classes and various video classes, but focus on the long form quality content, because if you make a 10-minute video providing a lot of information, you could take at least 5, shorts from that. That's a minute each, just like showing one. If you talk about 5 different topics, a short for each topic, and then you get one person hooked. They go watch your long form video. So,
well, not to mention, like, people's attention spans are down so much, so it's pretty crucial to be doing that stuff, I feel like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just feel like I have to talk you up a little bit, because he actually knows what he's talking about with this stuff, and it's pretty incredible. And I know there's a lot of realtors that want to grow a channel, and it's so hard because you have to be in it for the long game. Consistency is everything, and it's really easy to do 5, 6, 7 videos and then give up too early.
Which is
and
what
you can
most people
attest to how long that growth takes, and then something happens. You get one video that hits really good, and it means the world.
Yeah, I mean, I have like 500 plus videos on my YouTube channel now. So, and it took 9 months to get 1,000 subscribers for me. And then going from 5 to 6,000 took 10 days. So
Wow.
like that first 9 months, if I were to stop after a month, then I would have maybe 20 subscribers, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But because you stay consistent with it, and you can't expect instant results. It's the long haul.
Yep. And I think that's a good lesson, because I think a lot of people, when they start something like this, they go into it thinking, I'm going to start getting leads right away.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a little while. But what's great about YouTube is the shelf life of your videos is so much longer. Like if I put a video on Instagram, the shelf life is maybe a day and a half, 2 days maximum. I've had one video that got 500,000 views, and I think it was up for like maybe a month, and that was it.
Is that like a Reels? Or?
Yeah, it was a reel. Yeah, and it was on Facebook. It was just a walkthrough of a house at the Parade of Homes from last year.
Wow.
That was it. But it got me like 500,000 views or something stupid like that. But if I put the same video on YouTube, it just keeps working and working and working and working forever and ever. So whenever somebody looks something up, it's going to be relevant.
And to add to that, the searchability of YouTube compared to everything else, because Google's the #1 search engine in the world, YouTube's #2, and Google owns YouTube. So, for example, my most recent video talking about the Pac-12 falling apart, it's got like 30,000 views, and half of those are purely from search on Google.
Wow.
Which is interesting, because that's the first video that has done that. But people are typing in on Google, Pac-12 falling apart, and then it recommends my video on YouTube. So
if we can take some of those same concepts that you're using in your YouTube channel right now and position them with our help for a real estate agent, they can potentially have almost the same impact.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just got to make it entertaining, guys.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
That's the hardest thing that I've seen on the real estate
Yeah.
side is some of these videos, guys. Who's going to watch it?
Yeah, well, you'd be surprised who watches them, honestly. Like I've seen some
Right.
videos that are boring as hell, and they got 50,000
views.
views.
Right.
And
It's
it's
like, how?
somebody driving through a neighborhood talking about homes in the neighborhood. You're like, this is the most boring video I've. But you know who watches them? It's somebody who's moving here, who's
Cares
looking at
about
the
the
houses.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing. So maybe caring about, or boring is a relative term. How about that?
Sure.
Because what might be boring to us might not be boring to the target audience.
Yeah.
For that. All right. So fast forward, like June of this year, and new guy comes on.
Who's that?
So I kind of took the same cadence that I was doing, helping real estate agents over at the last company that I was at, and just kind of adapted it for here. So I'm almost doing the same exact thing on the same different level, I guess you'd say, but just with more intent now. How about that?
Yeah.
More intent. Yeah.
I heard from 3 people on Friday that I believe, it sounds like, have known you for a long time, and what people were telling me is they've never seen you look happier. before.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's good.
yeah,
I'd say that's a very good sign for us.
yeah.
We're super excited. I know I've told you this many times already, but man, we could not be more excited for you to be a part of what we're doing and to come, because Connor and Dayton are both awesome. I'm just here, but to add another third stud to this team is, just, we couldn't be more grateful. So
When it kind of happened by accident in a way, I was a part of your last event up on stage with Carly, and then we just started talking back and forth, and I just wanted to be a part of what you guys were doing, and so when I left my company, it was like just kind of felt good to make a natural transition over. And happy, I think happy is an understatement. Yeah. It just feels good to be a part of something organic that's growing, that's helping.
how weird is it? This is a question for all three of you. Just hit my mind, so let's just throw it out there. How weird is it to be at this point in time where, we're 18, 20 months or so into this housing recession, let's call it. 18 or 20 months from the lender standpoint, and certainly from the realtor standpoint, where business has been tough. It's been tough to make a living. A lot of people are leaving the business. There's a lot of negativity and pessimism. But then we can also pivot 180 degrees and look at where we're heading, and what KFA is becoming and the impact that we might likely be able to have on people. And there's this sort of duality between, man, it's tough, it's a grind, but also we're on the precipice of something really cool. Like, I just think about this all the time, and I guess I kind of just want to throw it out there to you guys. How does that land with you? To me, it's really a cool thing to be a part of.
Yeah, I think that for us, the intangible, if I had to guess anything, that has allowed us to stay positive and excited more often than not, probably more than a lot of people who are suffering right now in this industry, has been that. Like, as frustrating as the micro, the day-to-day can be, the losing the deals, the interest rates going up, the fact that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is like a 30-year low of actual deals to go around. Loan applications. So to be in the eye of the storm, but also to have that pull and to have that energy from like what we are building, it's been amazing. Like, for me personally, I can be in a moment in time where I'm not happy about the current results, but I'm also so happy about the fulfillment, because I've never been more fulfilled in my life. Like, what I get to do every day is help introduce agents and get them into positions, or connect them with Connor to help them build their YouTube channel, or introduce them to you if they haven't met you, or do whatever I can to give and to help them survive this season, even if I can just help them just a little bit. And then I get to look around and, half the lenders in this office, they knew me when I was like 10 or 12. And I get to be a part of maybe helping them just, build one more connection, one more relationship, just get a little bit more juice out of the tough environment we're in, so that they might have a better chance of surviving. And at least up until this point, we haven't had any lenders in our office have to exit the business yet, which I think means we're probably bucking the average. It still hasn't been easy, but this is the first time in my life where all of my energy is focused on other people, not what's in it for me first.
Feels good.
It's amazing. Yeah.
And so Cardinal, the loan officers that are here, I think, have like a huge advantage, by the way, like having a media team. Like, they have a media team, and they have a marketing guy, and they have a business development person. I see it as like it's a win-win situation. They get the beauty of the brains of KFA and every advantage that comes with, Cardinal as well. So,
yeah.
And also our daily pipelines that we have in our team meetings, sales trainings every week, so that we can hear from Chad and on what's going on in the market to better understand what's actually happening, so that instead of just running in circles in panic mode, that you understand what's happening and realistically what's going to happen next. Yeah. And then I'm naturally an optimistic person, but to have the optimism to help with, things being slow. And then also I was going to say, the proper stress creates growth. So like, if you go to the gym, you put stress on your muscles, so you're going to grow. The same thing, can be applied here to where it's like there's stressful times, but if it's applied properly or the proper, reaction to it, then you're just going to grow from it.
Yeah. I mean, we know that on the other side of this season we're in is going to be record years, most likely, because if we're able to capitalize, build more relationships, and help the people and help hold them up through this time so that they can survive. Our realtors, our partners in this business, they'll remember that we didn't fold, and many others have. And so just sticking around is helping quite a bit. But I think that in terms of Cardinal, if we're separating from KFA for a second, what I feel like is probably different here and from most places is actually how we're going through this together. Like, I think where people really start to struggle and get in their own head is when they're doing this by themselves. And I know most lenders have a team, but I talk to realtors every single week who are hurting, and most of them actually are under an illusion that it's their fault, that they're doing something wrong, because what they're doing right now, the actions they're taking, used to close 40 deals a year doing those actions, and now they're at 15 and they feel like it's their fault. And being able to do this as a group, and a very tight-knit group at that, like, at least for our team, we realize that we're all hurting right now. We're all not happy with the results right now, and we're not blaming ourselves for that necessarily as much as the market and the season. And then together we decide, okay, if we can't win with income right now and hitting our record numbers this year, then where are we going to win this year? And for us, it's market share, it's exposure. We need to get our names out there. We need to build more relationships now. While other people have their heads in the sand, this is our time to grow relationships. And those might not pay us today, but I'd be willing to bet it's going to be very important a year or two from now.
It's kind of the Gary V mentality. It's very Gary V-ish. Yeah. Like his whole give, and then ask. That's kind of his mentality. Mm-hmm. It's what he's been preaching like pretty much his entire life is, you keep giving and it'll come back to you. And sometimes you don't even have to ask. It just comes back naturally.
I like the jab, right hook, Gary V's philosophy.
It's my favorite book.
I think more than that philosophy, I like Alex Hormozy's. I heard him say it on a podcast, but it's what he does is give, then maybe ask.
Yeah.
Just give. And it's scary to do that because, like, throwing the first event, for example, that was a lot of money to cut. And most people, and you're probably right on why most people don't throw events like that. They want to see, like, okay, what's the immediate ROI? We live in this world where, we pay for leads and we want to measure them on month 2 or 3 and see if it pencils. And we try and create this, at least 3x, 4x ROI. It's scary to invest in stuff where you're not going to see the ROI from day one. So.
And also, Alex Hormozy says, if you're not giving enough value to where it makes you feel uncomfortable, then you're not giving enough. And if you were to give someone your entire playbook and tell them exactly how to do everything, only 1% of people would do anything with it.
Less than 1%, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing Ben Kinney on stage at Inman one time. You guys know who Ben Kinney is, obviously. Yeah. So, and somebody raised their hand while he was up on stage and said, why are you telling us everything that you're doing to make yourself successful? And he said, well, because I know 99% of you aren't going to do anything with it anyway. So he was looking for the 1% in the audience that did want to take it to the next level, and then that would be part of his team. Mm-hmm. So that was his mentality. But same kind of thing is, my goal has been all along to reverse that trend. So when I'm teaching somebody how to do something, I don't want them to just see how to do it. I want them to implement it. I want them to come to me and say, Larry, I need your help to implement these marketing strategies. And that's where I like to go to the next level.
Yeah.
I don't want them to be the 99%. I want them to be the 1%.
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So the goal is kind of future goal for KFA. What's next?
I mean, we talk about stuff all the time, and it's a constantly evolving thing, but we want to continue to build the footprint, continue to build the tribe. And we think in the short term, continuing to have events and bring more value and give more value and try to grow it as much as we can is a big part of it. Eventually, I don't know if we want to get into that today or not, but
let's do it.
Okay. Eventually, our hope is that as we contribute towards getting through this tough time, and we build, some equity with our real estate community as a whole, that we'll get to a point in time where we can say, hey, glad to know we're through it, times are better, we're all making money again, and maybe we can just have a little tap on the shoulder and say, hey, you guys want to chip in and be a part of the next thing. And so what we want to do is, over time, we want to turn KFA into a philanthropic machine. We have aspirations to do many, many things. We need to start off small. We need to get clear on the message. We need to, be methodical in how we roll it out. But this community, not just in Clark County, but that's kind of where we're focused today. But, this real estate community, more than any other community that I can think of, has, within, 1 or 2 degrees of separation, knows every person in the county. Everybody knows an agent. And if they don't, they know somebody who does. So, we have a situation where if we can build enough equity with this group, the amount of equity that we think we can build, we think we can create something here where we can affect some real change in our community. And I don't know if you want to elaborate on that, but I think there's some real power in that.
Yeah, I mean, if I can just be a little bit more candid with it, we haven't went for our ask yet. And I think most people are thinking that they're going to get a call from us and that ask is going to be, will you send your business to Cardinal? And truthfully, I'll just put it all out there. The ask is going to be, hey, have we done enough? Have we earned your respect enough that you're willing to join this fight to make Clark County a better place, to keep the stuff that's happening in Portland out of here? That's what we want to do. Where do we start? How do we start? Those are things that we're still working through. And how do we make a transition from, oh, they do really cool real estate events, to philanthropic, and not confuse that message? There's so many nuances that we're trying to carefully work through, and we don't want to confuse anyone. But we know where our hearts are being pulled, and we know that we're called to just create the space for it. And I think that we just have to walk. It's like, driving down a road at night. We can't see beyond our headlights. So it's a little bit intimidating to know how far we might be from that, but we're just gonna keep taking steps. And I have confidence that just so far, every time we've been nervous, like, are people gonna show up for this event we just spent a bunch of money on? It happens, people show up. And so I hope that when the day comes and we tap your shoulder and ask you to join this fight to help us serve in a couple different manners, when we have things a little bit more clear, that you're going to say, heck yeah, I want to be a part of that. And if we can create a massive amount of soldiers in Clark County, in the real estate community, extremely connected individuals, we can help a lot of people, and we can help clean up the streets, and we can help get people. It's not even just money, right? Like, our connections. We can connect. We can be the ultimate connector.
It's an army.
And that's why we always say, together we rise, and that's very much true. And it's not just about, like, the most simple way to put it is, KFA is put on by the community. We bring community members in to speak. Obviously, we organize a lot of it, and that's our role, but we don't make it about us. KFA is put on by the community, for the community of real estate agents and real estate professionals. But the part we haven't explained yet is it's by the community, for the community, so that we can change the community at large, which is outside of the real estate community. Yeah.
And if we do enough, and the ask isn't going to be that difficult. In fact,
Right.
You shouldn't ask for business. I feel like if you do enough, the business is just going to come to you. People are going to want to do business with you because they like you.
Yeah.
Right.
Since we started KFA,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of realtor relationships that have started, and we haven't approached them. And there's been a lot of amazing, new, talented loan officers who have joined our team, and we haven't recruited them. So that's already starting to happen, which is crazy. I don't think when we put this on, we were thinking this is a 3-year plan, before anything crazy cool happens, before we have pleasant surprises. We didn't recruit you. It just happened organically because, and so we're starting to see that effect. It's addicting. I'll tell you that. It's exciting to just feel like every day, at least in my role, I know, he's got to deal with a bunch of trouble files and all the BS of the actual industry, but my role is just go make relationships and help other people succeed and enjoy, like, every step of the way. It's fun, and then good stuff just happens, and we don't have to worry about that. So, but I will say, like, I hope when that day comes and we do ask you to join the fight for the cause, the nonprofit that we're putting together right now.
Pitch in.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope that we've built enough respect trust authority that you don't think twice about it.
And it might not even be something that they need to pitch in monetarily for. It could be pitching in time or effort or energy or resources or
100%.
yeah.
Well, the law of reciprocity is a real thing, and it magnifies. So if you're a religious person or not, you can refer to Malachi 3:10. But if you give, you receive, and it's not a one-for-one distribution. So if we can give to others and then have a compelling, effective way to compel them to give to other people, then it just continues to magnify, and that's what we want to do. And we want to sit back and see how big this thing can become.
I like the analogy of building the plane as you're flying it down the runway.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling like it's about to take off.
I sure hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited. We're gonna take it up to the next level at this next event. Won't be until January, February, the next real estate summit, not the quarterlies. We're in a constant battle because I'm trying to get them to pay more money for these big names and big speakers and people you guys all know. We're still in a tough market to cut big checks, but we'll see. We're gonna figure it out, and I think we're gonna bring the house down. I'm excited.
Cool. Anything else to add in closing?
Just join in, be a part of it. Let's KFA together.
Absolutely. We do need to kick fucking ass so we can keep faith alive. We need more of you guys, more good people of, I'm not even gonna say of God, people of love, to deploy it to when you have that interaction that seems meaningless with a waiter, to make their day feel a little bit better. Hold the door open for that person. The small meaningless interactions, they matter. And we need more people to operate that way. And we're in a moment in time where everybody's focused on themselves, focused on their bank accounts, focused on their family, their survival. But I think what I would say is it's the trick of the world. The world's telling you to focus on yourself and to not, we don't got time for that stuff. But the more you focus on other people to help, you're going to get,
come back.
You're going to get the help you need. Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. KFA.
KFA.
All right.
Let's go.
Welcome to the KFA podcast, where our mission is to keep faith alive by kicking ass.